Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'll be showing you how to check the connectivity of your design elements in Karamba. I will be walking you through two components, Eigen Modes and connected parts, and we will focus on using these components to examine our structure. You can find the connected parts component in the Model tab here, and you can find the Eigen Modes component in the Algorithms tab over here. In this illustration, there is a basic setup of a pavilion structure consisting of a roof, 3 walls, a single column, and a V-column. To connect the geometries in Karamba3D, there are a few steps that one needs to take. To connect the walls with the roof, the surfaces need to be inputted together in the Karamba3D mesher. This will create meshes with shared vertices. If you want to connect the columns to the system, you need to include their points in the meshing by inputting them as inclusion points. I will first extract the start and end points and then input them to the mesher. Now you can see that the vertices of the roof also include the start point of the column. You may also notice that since I didn't include the points of the V-column, this also doesn't share any vertices with the rest of the structure and therefore is not connected to it. From here, we run our structure through the standard Karamba3D setup. We give it cross-sections, materials, supports, and loads, and then assemble them all together. To review this connectivity, I will initially use the connected parts component. The connected parts component looks at the connections between meshes and lines. You can see that in this example, there are 3 meshes which are connected and 1 mesh which is not, as well as 2 connected lines which represent the V-column, and then 1 line which is not connected. To visualize this data, I first need to simplify the outputs of the connected parts and then input them in a tree branch component and adjust them using a slider for verification. So when I click on the tree branch, you can see that these are the elements which are connected to each other, and then these are the elements which are not connected. Parts that are geometrically connected can be disconnected regarding force transmissions. Just think of joints or connections between truss and beam elements. Via the Eigen Modes component, one can find geometrically and force-wise disconnected parts. Because I haven't connected all the elements, I get a rigid body mode warning in the Analyze model reporting a kinematic structure. I will now use the Eigen Modes component to detect these kinematic modes. Karamba3D's eigenmode component allows the calculation of eigenmodes and corresponding eigenvalues of the structure. The input parameters include a model, the index of the first eigenmode to be computed, and the number of desired eigenmodes. The number of different eigenmodes in the structure equals to the numbers of degrees of freedom. The eigenmodes connected to rigid body modes come first, since their corresponding eigenvalues are 0 or nearly 0. For this reason, it's that the value of eigenmodes indicate how much force is needed to get the deflection represented by the eigenmode. Since a rigid body mode made can be invoked with 0 force, the corresponding eigenvalue is 0 or nearly 0 due to numerical inaccuracy. We can view the values of the eigenmodes here. To preview the eigenmodes, I can go to Model View, and then at the Result selection, go to Eigenmodes, increase the deformation a little bit to preview the results, and then we can go through the different eigenmodes which we want to look at. Another way to view this is at the LCase input, concatenate a panel with a slider representing the desired eigenmodes. Keep in mind, however, that the selection of the load cases via the Model View component overrides the settings at the input panel. So to visualize them with concatenate, we simply need to turn this off, and then we can go through the different modes. One can also use the inputs max iteration and EPS to control the accuracy of the eigenmodes calculation. However, the default values work in most cases. Thank you and see you at the next video.